Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show podcast presented by PointsBet. Use that promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Delmendo after 8 in a row. The Cubs lose again. 12 unanswered by the Padres. Other than that, it was a pretty good night at Wrigley Field.
That's a good way to put it.
I don't know what to talk about first. The losing streak, the record below 500, the fact that they were up 5-0.
I will be the bigger man here, and I will take all the blame because the moment that I was on or managing the CHGO Cubs Twitter account and decided to hit send on a rare positive tweet that said, hey, what is your favorite part of the 5-0 lead? The Padres proceeded to score 4 runs in a matter of, I don't know, a half hour, and then eventually taking the lead. So I will take full blame here. This is all on me, none on the Cubs. If we really want to, go that route, that's fine. That's what happens whenever, you're feeling good and you have a bullpen like the Cubs do. They just didn't have it tonight. Other than that, I'm pretty speechless, Luke, because it all sucks.
Wow, I'm looking at the chat, and welcome to everybody on the chat. A lot of people really mad at David Ross.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Our mentions are very
the bullpen. Like, it's angry. Jack says fire Ross. Steven says this is 1,000% on David Ross.
Our mentions were full of people yelling about David Ross, and it has nothing. I don't think it has anything really to do with the bullpen. I think it has to do with the fact they took Kyle Hendricks out, or it's either that or the fact they even brought Kyle Hendricks out there for that last inning.
I thought he was coming out an inning earlier.
Yeah, and he threw 5 pitches and gave up a double and then took him out. Like, what's the point? You might we've seen it time and time again. Relievers. Some of them are much better when they come in a clean inning. And listen, Chris Martin, to me, he's the one, the biggest blame there, because you bring him in and then it just became the floodgates open because all these other guys came in with runners on base. I know Hendricks gave up the double, but Martin gives up the 2-run shot to make it 5-2. And then it just keeps coming and coming. He didn't have it. And I guess in a way, if you really want to blame David Ross on the bullpen aspect, it's that he let certain guys go longer. But I feel like in the same notion, a lot of those guys have earned the opportunity to get out of innings. Givens didn't have it. Ross didn't have it. Ross has been one of the best arms in the pen. We've literally sat on shows and said, this guy should be a 8th inning, back in setup guy. You know what I mean? And he didn't have it. And it's frustrating.
Givens, I've said he's got some trade value even
we keep saying that, yeah.
All those guys, all 3 guys, Martin, Ross, and Givens, have been good at some point this season. Yeah. Ross most of the season. I still think he's a key piece, but they're not going to be good every night. I thought Hendricks was coming out a little bit earlier just because it had been 2 weeks since he'd pitched.
Exactly.
And, you're talking about a sore shoulder, a fatigued shoulder. I'm guessing the only reason maybe he stayed in there that long was that it was hot out, so it was warm. But I don't know. I can't hang it on the bullpen. Was the game their fault? Yes. Mm-hmm. But they haven't been to blame for
a lot of things.
A lot of the losses this season. They've been
the bottom.
One of the best in baseball.
Yeah, they've been near the bottom of the Cubs' problems list. That's for sure.
Which we kind of thought they might be, but they've been even better than I expected. Right. Really.
But again, though, I wouldn't say they don't. Obviously, you're not taking away criticism of them.
No.
They haven't been very good.
No. Yes.
They haven't been very good in the month of June. There's no doubt about that. Last night, Rowan Wick, comes in a tie game, allows 3 runs. We saw it in New York over the weekend. The starters didn't help in those 2 games against the Yankees. But at the end of the day, Like, what's really the biggest issue here with why the bullpen is doing this and why all this is happening is that coming into the year, the Cubs just did not get consistent starting pitching. Right. And so right now, here in the middle of June, the Cubs bullpen is just taxed, even with a couple days off. I mean, hell, they had those couple days off last week, and then, of course, the Cubs have to play a 13-inning game because they can't get enough runs to do whatever, but also because Wade Miley can't stay in the game because he can't stay healthy. So, in a way, yeah, starting pitching hurt that series as well. Kyle Hendricks gives you a great start tonight, but they just didn't have it tonight. Like, I don't. I've ran out of reasons. I've ran out of excuses. There are no excuses when you're 15 games under 500 on pace for 100 losses and have the most expensive baseball experience in the league. Like, it's just this is where it is. It sucks. We're gonna remember this stretch at the end of the year when we look back and talk about the highs and lows. Like, I thought the 3-14 stretch was bad. This is like the 3.
I'm telling you, this is headed for double digits.
Yeah, like this is like hold my beer, guys. The Cubs were like hold the beer because let's make it look worse. And like, it's just a lot of it's very disappointing because you get 2 homers out of Willson tonight. I thought the offense at the beginning of the game played very well. And then whenever the Padres make that comeback, it's like you can't even like blame the offense for not doing anything after, because it's like you score 5 runs, you should win a Major League Baseball game. You should win a Major League Baseball game anytime you score 5 runs.
Well, that's what Wolf was saying in the chat. He was like, it's a 5-0 lead. It doesn't matter clean inning or not. You should come in and get the job done.
I agree. I agree.
I agree with that 100%.
I agree.
What you were saying about the starting pitching, and again, it's not Kyle Hendricks' fault tonight. He pitched a great game.
I'm just talking about overall.
We're talking about overall. Now, he's been out for 2 weeks, however, which also led to the taxing of the bullpen. And one thing we forget is because these guys are all out, you've lost the best piece of that bullpen, which was Keegan Thompson, because now he's in a starting role, which he's trying to help plug the holes on a sinking ship, and maybe that won't work out. Maybe it will work out, but he's the guy you would have brought in after Hendricks pitched. You would have brought in Keegan to get out of it and maybe pitch 3 innings and hand it to Robertson. Game over. You probably win the game, to be honest with you. But that's not what it's been. And I see in the chat, I assume David Ross is starting Killian tomorrow. So we kind of thought that might be the case, right?
Ryan just tweeted it. He said Caleb Killian will start for the Cubs on Wednesday against the Padres. So.
It's lined up, and at this point,
like you said, we
leave him up.
Talk about it. Yeah,
I'm fine with just unless he starts struggling mightily, leave him up here.
Right.
Just keep him here because they've got too many guys going out there. I know that you're still waiting on Miley. You're still waiting on Smiley. Hendricks has still got a fatigued, sore arm. We don't know how he's going to bounce back from this.
Is really
Thompson. I would love to actually stick him back in the bullpen.
Right.
It's been a nice sample size. He can go back to I can even see him going back to the starting role once they trade some guys here at the trade deadline. But for now, I would be happy to see him go back to that role. Swarmer, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve another good start after 2 good games. He had a bomb in the Bronx, but he was left in there to make up for a taxed bullpen. So he wouldn't have stayed in there long enough to give up 6 home runs. He didn't have it.
Right.
So, I mean, that's at least exciting for fans to see Killian tomorrow. Maybe Caleb Killian can stop it at 8. Maybe.
He was very good in his Major League debut outside of 1 inning, right? The only thing that kind of scares me is, like, will he be able to give them the length? I know he's had command issues. If there's anything to complain about with him so far in his professional career, but yeah, at least it is something we can come to the studio tomorrow and be like, all right, we got something to watch here. This will be something nice to watch because it's just been tough, man. Like, I said last night after the show, I was like, all right, when we do the show tomorrow, it's like, I have to find a way to not just go down the same rabbit hole that we did tonight. And you said something like, we're probably going to do it like 50 more times because like, what is there to talk about with this team? We're 15 games under 500. We're on pace for 100 losses. You DFA certain guys who are young and actually are but could be part of the next good team for older guys and guys on expiring contracts that aren't going to be part of the team. And like our top prospect is hurt. There's just not a lot to look forward to right now. There's not a lot to be optimistic about.
Trade deadline's coming up soon.
Right, but that's still a whole month and a half.
I know. The draft.
Like if I'm sitting here and I can't find 5 optimistic things to talk about, that's saying something. Someone who said this team could win 87 games this year. If I can't do that, then that's saying just how bad it is. So, yeah. I'm happy we have something to look forward to tomorrow.
I mean, it will be good to see him pitch again. I think fans were teased by that first performance. It was really good early on, and then he had the one bad inning, but he came back out and he pitched well again. So that's what you're looking to see. And again, it's about individual performances. Mm-hmm. Tonight was nice to see Kyle Hendricks go 5 innings, 1 run. It could have been 5 innings, no runs.
Right.
6 strikeouts, no walks. Fastball command was there. Changeup command was there. And he's a great matchup for the Padres. They like to they're a super aggressive team at the plate. Mm. And Kyle Hendricks feasts off that. If he has his command, there's nothing he likes to see more than an anxious hitter at the plate. Someone ready to swing out of their cleats. And so, he's had 2 good games against him this year.
Yes, yeah.
So I hope it's something to build on. It's been a very roller coaster ride season for him.
Right.
And it was so strange because I guess it had been reported that it had been some shoulder stuff, but a lot of what I had heard was just from reports was he's working on a few things. So
yeah.
I don't know what it was, but like 2 weeks is 2 weeks, but he wasn't on the IL.
Yeah. And it's weird because the one thing you can always say about Hendricks is he's usually pretty healthy. We've never really had to worry about him getting injured. But related to him, I tweeted tonight, hey, the Yale Classic, whatever the player name, trade value, stock up or stock down. Yeah. And the replies were interesting because some people were like, no, we can't trade Hendricks. And then some people were like, oh, I think this is a great idea because they're like tired of Hendricks. So like, it's weird how Kyle Hendricks has kind of become like I don't want to say controversial, but a polarizing player on the Cubs roster. I guess on a roster like this, that's bound to happen.
I think people are growing angry at everybody.
Right. But the point,
and most of the players don't deserve it.
I agree. I completely agree. But the point of why I bring it up is I said last night, I don't think the Cubs are going to I don't think they're going to trade Kyle Hendricks because it's just not worth it. You're not going to get any real promising prospects. And if they did and they eventually got 1 or 2 out of it that down the road did something, then fine, I'll eat my words on it. But at this moment right now, you just don't. I wouldn't feel confident in anything that they got back for Kyle Hendricks. Tonight was a good step in the right direction. He ate the Cubs 5 innings. He had 6 strikeouts on a really good lineup. I don't care if Fernando Tatis is in it or not. This was hopefully a good start to a really good stretch. If the Cubs actually did want to trade Kyle Hendricks with 1 year left of control, someone who's been on this roster since 2014. It's all like with how things are going, like anything is possible. Like you said last night, Luke, like if there's any part of looking forward to the trade deadline, it's like, all right, well, Kyle Hendricks gave us a really solid start tonight. if you can do a few more over the next month, then you're like, all right, there's some value there. A team will want someone like that. So we'll see. Again, we need more. We need more consistency. At this point, I'm very indifferent on if the Cubs should or shouldn't. My heart says no because he's been so fun to watch throughout most of his career. And on the other hand, it's like, well, what's the point? What is the point? So that's where I'm at.
On the chat, can you go back up just a little bit? Somebody's saying Cub fans don't deserve this. Katy Perry Dreamer says Cub fans don't deserve this. We don't deserve another teardown 6 years after winning a World Series.
Absolutely.
I don't disagree with that. Although I think moves were missed before they started tearing down the team, and it got to the point where it did need to be torn down. It's just that I would have liked to seen it been supplemented with some spending. And Isaac has been saying that Isaac's saying he's rooting for loss. He's now one of the Cub fans that's rooting for losses, not because he wants to see the higher draft pick, which, by the way, they're getting closer and closer to the higher draft pick.
Yeah.
They're only 3 wins ahead of the Royals, 2 wins ahead of the Reds.
Right.
Yeah. And they're tied with the Nationals. So they are getting closer and closer to that. And I still say those teams don't have as much to trade away at the trade deadline as the Cubs do.
Yeah.
And so it's very possible that they could sink to the worst record in baseball. So he's saying he's not rooting against them for the draft pick. He's rooting it to drive revenue down because more and more fans will lose interest in the team, and it's going to hit the pocketbook. That's the only way to turn this around.
Yeah.
It wasn't a very big crowd tonight.
No.
We said yesterday we thought it was a pretty good crowd, and I said, it's the first Monday after school's out for a lot of schools. A lot of high schools graduated. Kids are getting ready for summer. It was the Padres, a good team in town. When they bought the tickets, they probably thought Tatis, Darvish, Machado, good team to go see. I'll be interested to see what it's like tomorrow with Killian now.
Yeah.
Will that crank up a few more tickets?
I don't
know because
I don't know.
They've seen him pitch once. We've seen him pitch once, and I also think fringe Cub fans don't really know who Caleb Killian is yet.
Yeah.
Diehard fans, folks that are in our chat, people that watch every game, they know who Caleb Killian is.
Yeah.
Diehard Cub fans know about Caleb Killian, that he's one of the top pitching prospects. Like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
Fringe fans that are watching a few games right now, they have no idea who he is. None whatsoever. I had a friend text me tonight, just said, tough watch.
Yeah.
How are you holding up? Tough watch. And I just replied back, no way to sugarcoat it. They're bad. And he's like, thanks for the expert analysis. And, that's true. It's like you have to look in between the lines for the other storylines that are there. And we pick them apart on a nightly basis. This was a tough loss. A 5-0 lead in the 6th inning when Kyle Hendricks walks off the mound with a 5-0 lead, and they lose 12-5.
In relation to the comment we were talking about,
rooting for the losses?
Yeah, for decreased revenue or whatever. Natalie put in the Slack trying to get our attention. She says MLB has attendance at 29K. 29,000 for tonight.
A lot of season tickets.
That's a lot of season tickets. That's a lot of
they're getting that money no matter what.
Yeah. And I get what that comment means. I get what he's thinking. But at the end of the day, people are going to always go to Wrigley Field. You're going to get the tourists. You're going to get there wouldn't be this many people in the chat if people didn't care. Now, that said, there are ways to to hold ownership accountable and front office accountable, no doubt. And again, if you don't want to go to games, don't go. If you want to go to games, go. I don't think that we should sit here and tell people to not go or to go, whatever. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're all fans and we all like going to Wrigley Field. That's the truth. But I think ways that you can hold those people accountable is just, you gotta let them know, whether it's if you're at the game, bring a sign. I don't know. Like
I had an idea this afternoon, while the game was going on.
Yeah.
And that is,
you gotta boo.
It's not shown. Well, you could boo, but the problem is that some of the players are going to hear the boos, and some of the players don't deserve the booing.
That's true.
There's guys that are up that shouldn't be up.
That's true.
There's guys that are on the roster that shouldn't be on the roster.
Yeah.
And they're all I do believe they're all trying. And I understand a lot of them are making a lot of money, and it comes with the territory. On the flip side, if you really want to let the Cubs know how you feel, and I think there are at least 70% of the people on our chat. I know some have now trailed off and said, trade Willson Contreras. But if you told me the beginning of the season what it was like, he's having his best season in the majors. He's top 2 catchers in baseball.
Yep.
If you want to let the Cubs know how you really feel, give Willson Contreras a standing ovation every time he comes to the plate. A full standing ovation at Wrigley Field. Every time he comes up. First of all, Willson Contreras will take it to heart.
Yeah.
And he won't forget it. Yeah. And if that means he's a free agent, he has a chance to come back sometime, maybe he will. Let him know how you feel. Let the front office know how you feel about Willson Contreras. Don't just applaud when he hits a home run. The guy hit 2 home runs and a double tonight.
Yep.
He's running around the bases saying, jump on my back.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to be that spark plug. It's his best season of his career. If you want to tell the Ricketts family, the front office, Jed, Carter, how you feel about Willson Contreras, give him a standing ovation every time he comes up until they're nauseous about it.
Yeah, that's a good way.
Because they know in their heads they're going to trade him.
Yeah.
But they're going to feel real bad about it if they see the fan base standing as if he just hit 3 homers in the game.
Yeah.
Every at bat. I don't care if he strikes out next time he comes up, standing ovation.
Yeah. I feel like
that's a message that gets across.
We'll definitely see probably more of that the closer the end of July comes. But no, again, the main point is it's just like there's so much revenue coming into ownership and all of them that not going is just not going to do it. But like, I have treaded the line on our Twitter account, on my Twitter account, expressing my feelings about how it's just a slap in the face to all of us that we have the most expensive baseball experience in the league and we have a team that's 15 games under 500. I know the Cubs look on social media. They might not take it to heart fully, but they know that they get murdered on social media every night. Every night. And it's just like, I just don't really know what they're talking or what they're thinking in that front office ownership group right now, because it's very dark. The tunnel, the light seems, in what I thought going into this year, I thought the tunnel was maybe a year away from just being in actual contention for a division title, a year away. Now it feels like we are going to be taking this tunnel. We'll be going through this tunnel for 3 or 4 years to get to the light at the end. And we just don't deserve that. Just like what Katie said. 6 years after it, and I know we had to do some things. Yeah. I know they needed to replenish the farm.
Those were the right moves. It was the supplementing that fell a little bit short.
But they didn't spend when they actually had the money. They were going to have the money again this offseason. And I'm not saying you go and sign 3 or 4 guys like the Rangers did and give away $500+ million to 3 dudes. But, man, you got to bring in some dudes that have proven that they are solid major leaguers to supplement some of the young pieces that you have coming up and are already up. So, again, we'll have that conversation all at the end of the year and through the offseason. But, like, that's the thing. Like, that sums it all up on what, you can do to change, to let them know. But, it's at the end of the day, a lot of it, I don't blame a lot of fans for thinking that we just have to wait until
2025.
Yeah, 2025, or wait for Ricketts to sell the team. Like
He's not selling the team.
He's not selling the team.
I saw Dan Sharp with a comment up just a little bit that I don't disagree with part of what you're saying, Dan. Dan says you don't spend when you suck. They're rebuilding, treading water. The fans are to blame for going. That's the part I disagree with, Dan. Yeah. I'm not ever going to blame Cubs fans for going to the game.
Right.
The ones that have season tickets and were on a waiting list for decades to get these season tickets, if that's how they want to spend their money and go, more importantly, they're probably just holding on to those tickets because they love going to the ballpark. They love Wrigley Field. They love the people they sit around. And they're probably trying to hang on for 2024, 2025. So they've got tickets to go to the games they really want to see. Yeah. Most people that have season tickets don't get rid of their season tickets now because they don't want to lose them in a couple years. They don't want to lose them for a couple years from now.
Yeah.
They don't want to be short-sighted about it. And don't get me wrong, those poor people are spending a ton of money to hang on to those tickets because nobody is going out and, it used to be a time where people would buy season tickets, and if you wanted to share them with your buddies and then just sell 25% of those tickets, you'd get your money back. You might make some of the money back and then some. Nobody's buying tickets to go to the games right now.
Yeah.
StubHub can't. I don't know what a ticket costs on StubHub right now, but it can't be for very much.
No. Yeah,
you're not.
It's been very up and down also.
People have season tickets. If you're not going to the game, I would have guessed that a lot of them are eating those seats. Hundreds of dollars a night. So I don't blame them for going. I just think if you're going to go, there are ways to make your voices heard. Whether that's a sign, whether that's cheering a guy that you know is going to be traded. Like I said, I'd standing O. Willson every at bat just to drive home the point that what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else to say. Like I agree that it sucks. Everybody knows that they didn't spend. Everybody knows that. And when I say didn't spend, they did spend on Say It, but
and Stroman.
But they didn't spend Rangers money, and it didn't help the Rangers. I understand that. But it might have helped this. It might have helped this team.
Right.
Marcus Semien wouldn't have hurt this team.
That's true. And Corey Seager.
Corey Seager wouldn't have hurt this team.
John Gray would have been a nice depth piece.
All of those guys would have helped this team. I don't know if they would have been worth that money. But Dan's saying, you proved my point. Fans are still buying the second market tickets. No, I don't believe they are. I think most of the people there are season ticket holders. I think a lot of the other ones that are there right now are either an occasional, what Dan is saying, person coming in and buying a ticket because they want to take their kid to a game when it's not packed and they don't have to deal with the crowd and they want to see what the ballpark's like. And if you're taking a little kid, they probably don't care about the result anyway, but you want them to see Major League Baseball and Wrigley Field. But I don't think you're selling tickets for a whole lot of money right now. I think there's a lot of giveaways there. Yeah. People that had tickets and they're just giving them to people that are going.
That new drink special, right? If you buy a ticket or whatever, right?
Yeah, you get a free drink.
Yeah.
Well, it is a $14 beer or whatever it is. But it isn't a whole lot.
I mean,
I don't know. Dan, I just won't blame Cubs fans for this. Like,
yeah,
they're not the ones to blame for players not developing the way they were supposed to.
Fans shouldn't be blamed for a team like not spending or doing whatever. The fans should be celebrated because, especially Cubs fans, because before 2016, people were going to that ballpark and all of that for a long time without a winner.
A long time.
Right? And, we've experienced winning and now. And the thing that's different between the last rebuild and now is like the last rebuild, people were like, fine, Theo, you've proven that you can do this. We'll give you a shot. And now that we've experienced winning, people want to win every year. And I'm not saying win the World Series, but just be in it every year. And I can't blame people for that. And I can't blame people for wanting to go to the ballpark.
No, I can't either. So, like, if you want them to not go to the ballpark, then they should have built a ballpark in Schaumburg. And then right now, nobody'd be going.
Yeah.
But there'd still be a handful of fans that would go. And again, I don't blame them. They want to go see baseball.
Right.
It doesn't matter to them.
I will say that I've gone to almost.
Yeah, you've been to a bunch of them.
I've been to probably at least 6 games this year, at least, and I bought all my tickets on StubHub. So, like, yeah, I'm part of the crowd that is buying on the second-hand source or whatever for the cheaper ticket because the season ticket holders have to drop below face value to get rid of them.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying. They're not.
But there's always a ton of them on there. I never log on there and feel like, oh, I'm going to miss out.
Can't get one.
Right? And like that's just the state of the team at the end of the day.
Wrigley
else?
was not packed tonight, Dan.
Yeah,
it wasn't packed.
It was.
And again, it's like
tonight.
the first week of summer with school out. Like
he says, a handful of Wrigley is packed.
You watch what Wrigley Field looks like at the end of this season.
Yeah,
it's gonna be bare.
Yeah.
Real bare.
I remember we turned the game on tonight during pregame, and they showed. From like the press box
empty.
Or whatever. And like even the bleachers were empty. And I know it filled out more like later on. And in pregame, again, pregame is a half hour before the game or whatever. But still like, I don't know. Like it's just, I've seen, it's a noticeable difference for sure.
There's a big difference between weekend games and weekday games. That's just a fact. Dan's talking about it was 100 degrees. Oh, right, listen, I know it was 100 degrees out there.
Yeah. If I was not here at the office today to do this, I still wouldn't have gone to the Cubs game today.
No
not
shot.
with that heat. No,
and I wouldn't go tomorrow. Like Caleb Killian or not, 100 degrees. Woo. Hard pass.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how we really got down this path.
Well, because they've lost. You know why it is? Because it happens every show. Because viewers are angry, fans are angry. Everybody's frustrated. They've lost 8 in a row. They're 15 games under 500. Yeah. And I'm telling you, they're going to lose 100 games.
I do like Dan's optimism. I think he had a comment up there that was what he said something about how like teams that are rebuilding don't spend blah 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 this or whatever. So I guess his comment's not necessarily optimistic, but to me it's coming off optimistic because he believes that their farm is going to trend the team back into a winning direction. And yeah, you agree. I agree. How long is it going to take? That's the big question. I don't know. I at this point, I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be that long because if you got a Caleb Killian, and we'll probably see Cam Sanders later in the year, on top of Justin Steele, if he continues to pitch like he's been, there's 3 guys. Then you got Marcus Stroman already signed if you don't trade him. And considering the fact he's on the IL right now, his trade value is not going to be what it was. His value is not going to be what it was in the offseason. You might as well roll another year with him. So you got 4 guys right there. Go sign another one if you're going to trade Kyle Hendricks. Or just add a couple more just for depth, just because of how we've seen injuries. Like to me, and I just explained the starting rotation to you in a way that could be next year. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that's going to lead to more wins or not, but at least you got 2 young guys in there that have a high ceiling, high upside. You got a veteran in there that is proven over the course of time that he's pretty solid. And then, 3 young guys because of Steele. And one of those young guys has shown steps this year of being really solid. To me, like, if just explain that alone, if the Cubs can get the pitching together, not just in the bullpen, but in the starting rotation, that at least will give them a chance to win games. And the main reason why this team has been so bad is because they haven't got the consistent starting pitching. And so the way I just explained it, in my head, it's like, why would you sell all these pieces off like Contreras, mainly is what I'm talking about. Why would you trade something like that when if you're so high on Killian and you're probably high on Sanders, even though he's not like a top 100 prospect like Killian, but still, like, you drafted him, you called him up from AA to AAA this year. Like, why, what do you think about all these other arms and stuff? And to me, it's maybe they're not as high on something, and that's why they think they need to tank for another year after this. I don't know. I really don't know. But the way, from the outside looking in, from my perspective, to me, it feels like they really aren't that far away if they don't trade Contreras.
I mean, we've always been on the same page about the Contreras thing. While I do think he would bring you great prospects, I would keep him. I would like to see a piece continue, although if you're able to stock it with 2 top 100 prospects because he's playing so well and catcher's such a needed position, it's a different story.
Right.
If you trade Contreras, which is it's happening, it's going to happen, they need to bring in, not just spend. It's not that the Cubs just need to spend this next offseason. It's got to be big names coming soon. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to overspend and get Aaron Judge. I don't care if it's Correa, Judge, whatever the next big name is. Find the right one, evaluate who it is, and add them to the roster.
Yeah.
I saw Joe say Carlos Rodon is almost a must-add at this point. I will never say Carlos Rodon is a must-add to a team. Mm-hmm. It'd be a nice if he's an addition to the team, that's nice. But adding Carlos Rodon is not enough for me if I'm a Cubs fan and you're dealing with this season and the end of last season and potentially the worst record in baseball. Okay, RWB says Trey Turner, fine. Get me Correa. Get me Turner. Get me Correa. Get me Judge. Get me one of those guys. Mm-hmm. Get me 2 of those guys.
Yeah, yeah,
and add them to this great farm system that you've started to put back together.
And then, so many people are down on Suzuki too, just because he had a bad May. We still have to see how the rest of his season plays out, and you got to think no matter what, he's gonna learn. He's gonna be more adjusted to the league and everything going into next year. So you got a Gold Glove caliber power hitting right fielder already. Then you add an arm, like a big arm to go with those guys that I just mentioned, and you add a Judge or a Turner or a Correa or a Xander Bogaerts, and honestly, you look at that and you look at that bullpen and what we've seen it, and when you get that bullpen with good starting pitching, you're at least a 500 team at least.
But that's what you're saying is a 500 team, Cody, and I agree with a lot of what's being said in the chat. That's still not getting into the World Series.
No.
Getting to if you're talking about
you gotta
the
add
real
in the
goal,
farm after that.
Then the farm system guys have to come up and filter in. It's got to be Triantos. It's got to be Brendan Davis. It's those guys need to develop. That's what happened with the other group. They didn't fully develop. They won the World Series and then they didn't go from there. And then the guys that were underneath them didn't develop.
Right. Maybe everything I just said, they could just be, their floor could be 500, but their peak could be at least a playoff team. And again, I once you add in the farm, once those farm guys come up and supplement those guys I just said, then you can start talking World Series. Yeah, but you got
it's not next year.
You gotta supplement you got to supplement by spending something at some point though, and trading Contreras, and if they did trade Ian Happ, which again he's a great trade piece, it just kind of to me at this point just seems like they're going backwards, and I just don't think that's the right move.
How did your bets do tonight? I know the Cubs didn't do well.
Yeah, well, I didn't bet on the Cubs.
So that was the move. In fact, did you bet against the Cubs mid-game?
I did bet against the Cubs mid-game. Whenever
seems like that was a smart move too.
Yeah, when it was 5-4, I was like, we are about to blow this, so let's slam it. Padres money line plus 180. Oh, Mets first 5. That was I believe that hit as well. So yeah, I went 3-2, 3-3. If you want to count the Payne parlay. Payne parlay didn't hit because Sean Manaea sucked. Anyway, made them all on my favorite app, PointsBet.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
It's my favorite app to open. It's
dull the pain. Dull the pain.
Yeah, to dull the pain, exactly. It's the best way to support CHGO. And if you download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up, you can make a $50 more first-time deposit. You'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. I'm hearing around the Vine that we got some new shirts coming. I just got some new shirts that you can already see on the website. So I'm just saying it's getting exciting.
Very nice.
Yeah. If you have any questions, email pointsbet@allchgo.com and we'll help you. Remember that PointsBet is your home for live in-game betting. They even have a new exclusive feature, live NBA same-game parlay. For the first time ever, build the perfect live same-game parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. You can even boost your live same-game parlays. And now, if you've been under a rock, online sign-up is available in Illinois. If you didn't know, like I said, if you've been under a rock, you can actually download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. I say it every show. If Luke can do it, so can you. Every time. It's just as funny every time, Luke. Signing up with the fastest sportsbook.
I've got a smartphone.
Signing up with the fastest sportsbook is now easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. Use code CHGO to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
We made it 38 minutes or so before the Hayward comments started.
Oh, wow.
So
that's a
we went
record.
on the chat, so that was good.
Can I complain about Hayward for a second?
And to everybody, it's like we have a pretty good chat going today.
Yeah.
Like,
all things
to
considered.
Dan and all the guys that are on there, like, thanks for all the comments. We appreciate it. You guys being part of the show and part of the fam, as we say. Hey, I want to tell you about our other partner, too.
Ooh.
AG1, started taking it because I didn't have time, wanted better gut health, more energy, and optimized immune system. Now I've been on it for a couple months. Love it. It's not one of those super healthy tasting things, which I can't stand. It's sort of fruity. It's nice. It's got, what is it? What's AG1? Here's what you go. 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens to help you start your day right. A special blend of ingredients supporting your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all of those things. I like to get a noticeable boost in the morning from it, so it's the first thing I do on an empty stomach. Giddy up, off I go, and it's lifestyle friendly too, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, or dairy-free. I'm not any of those things, but you're all good if you are with AG1. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance for less than $3 a day. Recommended by professional athletes, more than 7,000 five-star reviews. So right now, reclaim your health, arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. You don't have to take a million different supplements and pills to take care of your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs. Again, athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. We're going to do a little spin zone here.
Oh.
Because, it's been rightfully so an angry, upset, bitter chat. Yes, go ahead.
I want to give Isaac a shout out. He says, I get on here because you guys actually interact with the fans. It's nice to get that after 2.5 hours of being ignored. So, welcome, Isaac. We'll never ignore you. You send, if we never mentioned this, but if anyone does super chats, we will definitely read your comment and put it up there. We
should tell you that. And then if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, or the YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do that. Make sure we would like some good reviews if you can do that for us.
Yeah, please send good reviews.
Dan says the AG1, he likes it too. Gut health makes a huge difference.
Hell yeah.
You know when it feels good on a hot day like today, 100 degrees? Get that AG1 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Little zing.
I had some 2 days ago before I went to the gym. I was all poppy, ready to go.
Do the Owen afterwards? Only what you need, protein shake?
Should have. But I don't have any at home. I need to get some.
Got to get some ordered up.
I drank them all at work, and now I need some at home.
Let's do a little spin zone. Things outside of tonight's game and that will make you feel a little bit better.
Oh, this will be
outside of ice cream.
We didn't go to Cone tonight.
We did not make an ice cream run. I'm trying to behave this week. Better gut health. Miles Michaelis of the Cardinals lost his no-hitter with 2 outs in the ninth.
Woo, that's a great spin zone. Yeah.
Tough break.
Right over Harrison Bader's glove. Oh.
Just missed it.
Just missed it. Hate to see it.
Ryan Jensen, former first-round pick of the Cubs, Returned from the developmental list, according to Brian Smith, who is at Cub Prospects on Twitter. Great follow.
Been on the show before.
He said he developed a shorter arm path the Cubs had him working on. Came in, 2 shutout innings, just 20 pitches. Really looked good in his first outing back. So that's great to see. In fact, I saw that he had touched 98 on one of his first pitches. So There's some heat coming up.
Love to see that.
And on the flip side, Matty Lee, Chicago Sun-Times, Pete Crow Armstrong going to miss a couple weeks or a week or two with a hand
That's not
injury.
a spin zone, but that's just
a bad spin zone. That's a spin zone the other way.
Right?
Yeah, PCA. Not good. I see our guy Ryan Herrera is here.
Will he be able to join tonight? Stay tuned and find out.
Does it work this time?
He's there.
All right, there we go.
What was your favorite part of the 12-run comeback?
A 12-run comeback or the 12-run explosion? That was a pretty hard game to watch. Obviously, 5-run lead and you give up 12 unanswered. Especially for a bullpen that had been had its share of bad bullpen outings overall, but for the most part had been really good this year.
Yeah.
I think. And another question is, why did David Ross take Kyle Hendricks? Well, he was dealing with shoulder fatigue. Then that's why he didn't. That's why he had an extra extended layoff in between starts. It was hot. It was like 90 something. It was 95, I think, at game time, something like that. So it was hot. He hadn't pitched in a while. He was already coming off some shoulder stuff. And he threw 25 pitches in that first inning. Ross said he just kind of felt like he was losing gas, and I think what also played a part in it is like, hey, you're up 5-0. You got a bullpen that had been pretty good for most of the year. So, that was a very unexpected. Not even just to blow the lead, but just to give up 12 runs overall as a bullpen.
I just read a tweet from Megan Montemurro. Tonight was the first time the Cubs lost when leading by 5 runs since August 15th, 2019 in Philadelphia. Anyone remember the walk-off grand slam from should have been Bryce Harper or
should have been Cub.
Yeah.
I remember that one actually.
I'm numb, so I don't feel this. This is fine.
Ryan, tell us about Caleb Killian. What did Ross say about him? Just that he's going to start, or was there any more info there?
He said he's going to start. Just because he hasn't been back down for 15 days, there has to be some move, like an IL move or something that has to be made. We don't know who that is, but I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow. Ross just said, we just kind of expect him to be himself. We, don't want him to try to change anything just because he's coming back up. Just because they don't have the body of work at the major league level, they don't want to just go right into having him change things or fix things or whatever. They'll give him tips, and obviously going back down to the minors, they probably sent him with some notes on things to work on. But just all in all, he just, all he's expecting is Caleb Killian to pitch like Caleb Killian does. Not put too much pressure on himself. Just kind of go out there, do his thing, and obviously see what happens. The first start, Sal was at 5 innings, 3 runs, if I'm not mistaken. But still just especially after that 4th inning, when he came back out in the 5th and kind of shut the Cardinals back down, was a good sign, obviously. And then that was the one time he started. Now he's coming back, and again, they're not expecting him to light the world on fire. They don't want to set expectations on him because he doesn't have. He has 1 start in the big leagues, but the only expectation is that he just kind of goes out there and is just what's the word? And just acts like Caleb Killian, pitches like Caleb Killian, just does what Caleb Killian does.
Back to tonight's game, was there any or did anyone ask David Ross about why they took Hendricks out so early? Our mentions were flooded with people yelling about that, and also in the chat at the beginning. So I'm trying to help give away some information here if there's any questions about why that happened.
Yeah, well, that's what I said earlier. Is just kind of discussing the bullpen, but and how it maybe helped lead to pulling Kyle, but at the same time, it's just like Kyle had had a huge layoff. He hadn't pitched since June 1st. He was battling some shoulder stuff. It was really high. It was just a lot of different things that when it kind of got down to it, Ross thought he was just kind of losing steam, losing gas. They went out, they had that conversation on the mound, and I think they said they were going. Ross said he was kind of going to let him go like batter to batter, kind of see how it went. And he said he saw Kyle kind of losing gas. I just took a quick look at like Savant, and you could see the velocity on both his on the four seamer and the sinker. Both kind of, by the end of it, a couple miles, a mile or two per hour below the average that he's had on the season. So I think just in that number, you can kind of tell. So as soon as, that they hit that double, Ross just kind of decided like, hey, like he's losing steam. He's just coming back from a layoff. He pitched well. It was just time. He even said earlier that he was kind of in talks to maybe pitch that last game at Yankee Stadium, and that he would have been on a pitch count there anyway. It's only 2 days later. It's not like 2 days magically stretched him all the way back out, right? So
yeah.
I kind of
if you repeated yourself, I'm sorry.
I did.
I was wondering about Nick Madrigal. Do we have any idea? Is there any talk about why they've been reluctant to put Madrigal on the IL? I maybe it's coming tomorrow for this move or sooner than that. To bring Killian up, but why have they been so reluctant to just go ahead and put him on the IL again?
That is not. And if I'm looking at it, and we're trying to figure out as far as Caleb Killian again would have to come up for an IL move. Maybe that's just something that they were kind of looking for.
Okay.
I know they said that Madrigal's getting. I think they said that he's like it's kind of the same thing with Mile, like some time for rest and recovery. So maybe an IL move's coming tomorrow, and they just kind of knew, hey, you need to make an IL move to bring Caleb Killian up. Don't want to speculate too much on that, but I think it's just as far as procedural moves and maneuvering through the roster situation, and also it could have just kind of come down to, hey, let's kind of give him the weekend and see where he's at. I know he got checked out yesterday by doctors because they didn't do that in New York. So that I think is when they kind of look at that and just kind of see the time frame. It's like, all right, let's give it a couple days before we officially make that move.
And Bodie is recovered from the dizziness, but still now going back on another rehab stint eventually, right?
He's
going back to Iowa.
He's going back to Iowa. So he had the dizziness, and that's why they kind of shut him back down. He's going back out to Iowa, and they said he could restart his rehab assignment as soon as this weekend. So I think he's still kind of like, let's make sure he's, give him a couple more days to make sure he's good. But it could happen this weekend. It could, that could be when he kind of resumes building back up to what should be a major league, an activation back to the big league roster. But kind of wait and see right now.
I'm real curious to see what happens with Seiya here in the next week. How his finger responds, because I have this bad feeling that if he's not back in a week, that it could be a long time. Like, it's already been a long time, but this finger injury, and I know they're trying to just let it calm down so they don't have to do anything drastic, but like, it seems like an odd injury that's really dragged on a long time. And I feel like if this next week doesn't go well, it could be interesting to see what happens to him.
Yeah. And what sucks about Seiya being hurt is that it hurts now and it's going to hurt in the future too, because he's missing at bats.
Right.
And when he went down, he was going through the motions of adjusting to major league pitching, and now that he's been out a while, when he comes back, he's got to get back into routine, and then also continue to try and adjust to the league. So the longer he's out, the worse it is for him. I think in the present and in the future, until we can feel confident that he's at a point offensively where you're feeling good with him. So it's just, I just hope it's not that serious or as serious as it could be, because I know the lineup's not good, but man, when you see his name in there, at least you feel like, all right, there's
it's something to watch.
Yeah, there's something to watch, and there's at least a few more than one or two home run threats in there. You know what I mean? So
it's about his development. Hey, by the way, guys, I wanted to mention, I brought it up earlier. Owen, I want to tell you about it. It's only what you need.
Don't tell Ryan about it. He don't need to know.
Ryan knows, because when he goes to the gym, he throws down an Owen before and after. He double proteins, one before, one after.
He doesn't double fist. He just
it's 100% plant-based protein shake that gives you the nutrition that works as hard as you do. All the products are free of artificial ingredients. They're allergen-friendly, no gluten or dairy, easily digestible. A lot of our partners are gluten-free, dairy-free. I first heard about it from who else? Justin Fields.
Oh, QB1.
QB1 of the Bears does a plant-based diet.
Could be Chicago's savior, considering our baseball season.
Ooh, I hope they get some offensive line over there. Owen and CHGO have partnered up to give you an awesome offer. You can get 20% off your first purchase at LiveOwen, that's LiveOWYN.com, with the code CHGO20. Join me, Justin Fields, and Ryan Herrera as you try Owen, only what you need.
I just sent it in the chat, but I'm going to say it anyway. We got 45 people watching. Now it says 43, so hopefully those 2 people come back. But only 10 likes on our posts. Now we have 12, so shout out to the 2 people who have liked. But
they either don't like the way the games are going, or they don't like us talking about the way the games are going.
I hope that they like us. Why else would they be here? You know what I mean? So I just want to I can't say the word. I just want to point it out.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Go ahead.
So I was making everyone a deal. It's like, we need at least 20 likes or I won't wear a Hawaiian tomorrow. I got this one on right here.
Oh, you guys are double Hawaiian.
Yeah, likes. We're both wearing Hawaiians tonight.
Oh, double Hawaiian. I didn't realize that. Cody's been over here drinking Mai Tai. He's trying to be the new Mai Tai guy.
If you want to call it a Mai Tai.
It's water. It's ice water. Listen, it's too damn hot to drink anything else right now.
Yes. Just how hot was it in the press box, Ryan?
Quite. Very hot. Heat rises. The wind, you can look and like the wind was blowing out, and I'm like, if I could just reverse course and come back this way, like that would have been magical. But no, it was pretty hot. I had to go stand out in the dining room a little bit with the AC.
Yeah, that's the spot. Just sit in the dining room.
Brutal.
It's fine. Just watch it on television. You know what we need in here? This is Studio B, which is also very hot. Mm-hmm. We got brick walls, very little venting going in. We need like those misters that you get at some of the outs. Like if you're in Miami and they have misters, you go into a patio. We need giant misters in here to get through a game like this and a night like this. That's part of the problem is not only have the Cubs lost 8 in a row and are 15 games under 500 and pushing towards the worst record in baseball, but it was basically 100 degrees. It's going to be 100 degrees tomorrow. People are angry when it's that hot.
Oh, yeah.
I lived in Texas. It's nothing but angry people.
Yeah. No, I came into the office angry today because I was dripping of sweat and the fact that I was also late. But, there's other factors into it. But, like, the heat just added on to it, man.
Did you scooter over there, Cody?
The scooter's out. It's on the 10-day IL.
It's going with Bodie to the IL.
It could be a longer stint because the mechanic isn't exactly a handyman. But we'll see. Sources say could be back earlier than expected, but also sources say could be worse because you just don't know what you're going to get out of the mechanic.
Dan has a comment here that I think we might have to work something out. He says that David Kaplan is available to be a Palms waiver and a miss sprayer. And if I could come up with a bet that Cap could lose, we could get Cap here in Studio B with Palms waving, saying, take that, as he cools us off with Palms and a mister.
Man, I would love for that.
Just saying angry things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe you could even feed us some cold grapes. I could go for that
just
too.
Like,
frozen grapes are always nice on a cold day.
They taste like ice cream.
I don't know. They don't taste like ice cream.
Okay, they have the texture of like ice cream.
Yeah.
My bad. There you go.
Yeah.
Man, I miss
Cody. I'm sorry for your scooter. It's joining me. I'm day to day right now. I got a quad injury.
Oh, your quad. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's an off-air story. I'll tell you
oh boy! This now we're getting somewhere.
Now the entire chat wants to know.
Now I don't know if this goes. Does this go back to your Vegas trip, or how far back are we predating this injury?
Oh, it's Saturday night, retroactive to Saturday.
Okay,
Saturday
night quad injury.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's day, though. It's not IL move yet. It's just rest and recovery.
Rest and recovery.
Yeah.
Just like Wade Miley.
Ryan's working on a few things, as David Ross likes to say.
Yeah,
gonna be a couple weeks. We want to know what really happened. We'll get.
Dan says, "Give us the dirty."
Yeah, we'll get. You think we're up to 17 likes now? Ryan, you give us the real
18.
deets on that.
Yeah.
What do they say? You spill the tea.
Yeah, spill the tea. That's
spill
what
the tea, Herrera.
Yeah.
See how I know all those terms? Let's wrap it up because we got another one tomorrow that could be just as hot and just as bad.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Caleb Killian is the guy that will end this streak and give us something positive to talk about for a night.
Yeah. Listen, man. I want to remind people that just like regarding Caleb Killian, do not overreact, whether it's great or it's bad. If it's similar to the last outing, then I feel like we can all just
that'd be good.
We'd be great. We'd just be like, but not to say his last outing wasn't bad or good.
But if he struck out 12, that would be good too.
Right. Like if he goes out there, gives us 7 innings and shoves it down their throats, then I'm going to come on this show, overreact, and give you an hour of meatball takes. Because it's deserving and we all deserve to celebrate something. But all I'm saying is do not overreact if it's bad. That's basically what I'm saying. Because again, young pitcher, second career start.
Yeah.
We don't know what to really expect. We just know he throws 97-mile-an-hour sinkers and at the professional level has shoved for most of his career.
If Caleb Killian shoves, there will be another ice cream social this week.
Ooh, baby.
Thanks for dropping in to check. Ice cream social when you get back.
Without me?
No, when you get back. We'll have one when you get back. We'll save the ice cream social for you.
And I just noticed there's 21 likes now on the video, so Hawaiian is back tomorrow. Hawaiian will come back.
Hawaiian Ryan is back.
Yeah.
I should wear. I have more Hawaiians at home. I'll wear another one tomorrow.
Just wear pants. Hawaiians, everybody wears some pants. Whether they're shorts,
someone
jeans,
tell Clark to club that, right?
Shorts, jeans, just have some pants on. Thanks for dropping in to check out the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show podcast. Cubs lose 12-5. We'll turn it over to Caleb Killian and hope for better results tomorrow.